What's up everyone, Carter here, and in this video I'm going to break down exactly how you as a beginner Amazon FBA wholesaler can start leveraging overseas virtual assistants for as low as $5 per hour to help grow your Amazon wholesale business. And so in this video, in depth, I'm going to break down first how I leverage virtual assistants in my own Amazon operation to where my business was able to grow and scale, and I was able to fully automate it to where I don't do much in the business, maybe less than 30 minutes per day. And then also I'm speaking to an Amazon FBA beginner wholesale community hosted by my good friend Phil, who's a 7-figure Amazon seller. And so later on in the video, I actually explained to them in depth how they can leverage virtual assistants in their wholesale business to grow, scale, and make more money as well. So whether you're watching this video and you're a beginner wholesaler, or maybe you're looking to start, or you just need a little help growing and scaling the wholesale operation, reaching out to suppliers, getting more wholesale catalogs, whatever it is, if you need help and you think a virtual assistant might be the next best step, you're going to want to watch this video and enjoy.
Before I give this over to Carter, again, not trying to take any time, but I want to give a really, really good example of what this can do for a new seller, okay? Because if you've been selling on Amazon, it's extremely obvious, or should be, that a VA can help you, right? It's basic knowledge, right? And if you're new, we just got this store set up for my girlfriend, right? And we got a VA from Carter. It's been a little under 2 months, or right at that point. And in that time, this one VA has gotten us close to 60 accounts, give or take a little bit, supplier accounts, right? And out of those accounts, we now have multiple purchase orders that we are siphoning through this week. So again, my girlfriend hasn't had to put much time into this. She's taking her time and using it to learn the parts of the business that might be more important to learn. Now, what do I mean by that? Not having to learn how to continually just send an email, right? And stuff like that. So this is also stuff that Carter's going to get into. I just wanted to say before we get into this, make sure we have the right mindset going into this call, because it's implementations like this that take you from a person who's running a side hustle to a true business owner. And with that being said, Carter, go ahead and let's go ahead and get it ripping.
Awesome, Phil. Well, first off, I appreciate the kind words. Glad to hear things are going well for your girlfriend's storefront. I know you said like 2 or 3 months into it, 60 accounts. I didn't know it was that high. But just goes to show that a business at any scale, a virtual assistant can be super valuable. And like Phil said, a lot of you are on the beginner side, and I love talking and speaking with beginners, because guess what? I was once a beginner as well. I mean, I was in the same with Phil. We're all in the same shoes, starting from zero, how to find products. And Phil, this is going to be recorded as well, correct?
Yes, it is. Yes. Remind me, and
perfect.
I'll send you over the Zoom link.
Gotcha. No worries. I'm sure there may be some people have to bounce. I've like an hour set aside. Is that too big? How long you do the calls, Phil?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, cool. If you need to cut off short, you just let me know. But I appreciate you all joining. We got Alicia, Muhammad, Brandon. Good to see you, Brandon. Terse, good to see you. We got Zishan. We got Mad Max in the building. What's up, man? Franco, good to see you. I'm sure we'll have some people trickling in as well. But as you can see from the intro here, I am the virtual assistant guy. And so my goal for this call is I have a quick little presentation just kind of talking about my journey, what happened once I had virtual assistants, a little bit more about the VA Fastlane. And then, of course, probably the second portion of this call, I just want to open up to just a general Q&A. I know for a lot of you, maybe this is your first time hearing about a virtual assistant. Maybe you're not sure what they can do for your business, what they've done for other businesses. And so my goal is to just drop as much knowledge, as much game as possible. And so if you have any questions, that's what the Zoom chat is for. I want to make sure I can get those answers. But before we get into it, Jocelyn, welcome in, Dave. I want to just collect a little data from those of you on this call listening in. So if you could go to the Zoom chat and just let me know how long you've been selling on Amazon for, and then if you do Amazon part-time or full-time. I just want to get a feel for, the different attendees on this call. Dave, thanks for turning your camera on there. So just comment in the Zoom chat, everyone. How long you've been selling on Amazon for, and if you do Amazon selling part-time or full-time. Very curious to see here. Okay, we got Muhammad. Account open for about 2 months. Have sold zero so far. No worries. You've got the most difficult part, which is taking action there, and you're on this call. So those sales are going to start rolling in soon. Zishan, part-time, almost 3 months. Franco, new upcoming seller. Like to hear that. Okay, Alicia, yeah, 1 year. Oh, FBM, nice. Part-time. Max, little over a year ago. Okay, we got some veterans in here going full-time. End of the year. Okay, Max, dude, congratulations there. That's huge. Very glad to hear that. iPhone, new seller. Brandon, there's Brandon. 1 month part-time. Glad to see you in here, Brandon. Jocelyn, we got new upcoming seller also, and then Brian, new, mostly through phase one. Okay, cool. So we've got majority new sellers here, which is perfect. What I'm going to tell you today is going to absolutely change the game. And I see there's a couple people in this building that are also a part of the VA Fastlane. Glad to have y'all here supporting as well. If you have any tips, advice on what a VA has done for your business, drop that in Zoom chat. I'm sure they're going to appreciate that. But what I would first like to do is just hop into my quick presentation. So I'm going to share my screen, a little bit about my journey, virtual assistants, and then the second half of this call, we're just going to get more into the weeds. I want to answer any questions y'all have. I want to see what y'all are struggling with, and see if, maybe an overseas VA can help with that as well. So let me go ahead. I believe I can share my screen here. Thumbs up. Can y'all see my screen here? Okay, cool. So just got a little presentation here. This won't take but 15 or 20 minutes or so. And then we're going to get into some questions. So if you have questions, drop them in the Zoom chat. Don't worry. I'll make sure I get to them all. But the goal for this call is to talk to you about how I have leveraged overseas virtual assistants. So these are people on the other side of the world that we're paying roughly about $5 per hour to help grow and scale our Amazon business. Now, what they do for us, I'll get into in just a second. But I just wanted to throw the orange bars up here to maybe catch some eyes. Because with the help of these virtual assistants, my life has changed. We've now placed a VA for Phil, and I'm sure Phil can vouch as well. And he just told the story about his girlfriend. We have a couple people in the VA Fastlane that are in this call attending. And the thing here is 1 hour per day. Like, this is very accurate. I don't work a lot on the business. I obviously help run the VA Fastlane. I do things outside of business, family time, girlfriend. And so this is the ideal business I'm sure a lot of you are looking to build. Hey, how can I make a lot of money and, maybe not work a ton of hours? I'm sure you probably didn't start Amazon to, go and try to, make a lot of money but work a lot of hours. So with that being said, let's get right into this. Who am I? So I'm 25 years old right now. Started on eBay at the age of 12. Found out about Amazon at 15 from this guy named Steve. That's my first ever Amazon FBA shipment. That's 15-year-old Carter. So I was in roughly about 9th or 10th grade at that time. I was selling like books, video games, media. And so I'm coming up on a 10-year Amazon seller. So none of this is new to me. It's changed my life. That's why I'm still in the industry, still talking about wanting to help. And so from about, I would say about 17 to 21, I did mainly, this was retail arbitrage. So I would actually go into the stores and I would find products and I would sell them back on Amazon. Then the last 3 years, I've been doing mainly online arbitrage. So literally just buying products online to sell back online. And then I now obviously own and run the VA Fastlane. We'll touch briefly on that later as we do have a nice discount. Shout out to Phil for putting in a good word there. But this is my dream team. And so right now I have 6 full-time virtual assistants from the Philippines. And this is actually me. I live in the southern part of the States, Texas. I flew all the way to the Philippines, 24 hours, 3 different flights to meet my team. We stayed in 5-star hotels. We went snorkeling. We had some beers. We just had a good time. And so 4 of them help run my personal Amazon business. And this is everything. This is everything from product sourcing, reaching out to suppliers, actually purchasing the products, and then the entire backend. We have a prep center that does our fulfillment. We have my VAs go in and they put in a min and backs for the repricers, managing all the inventory. Like I said, I work less than an hour on the business. And the reason is because of these people right here. And so I just wanted to make that nice and clear. That's my dream team. And so with that being said, there's a reason hired a virtual assistant. And then obviously I now have multiple VAs, but most of you here, from what you mentioned in the Zoom chat, you're a newer seller. I think the most we had was, let's see, the Alicia 1 year, Max 1 year. So some of our veterans are around a year selling, but most of you are new. I know Brian, you said you're new, Jocelyn. And so you're probably wondering, hey, when should I maybe think about hiring a virtual assistant? If you ever have that question, pass it on to Phil. He's obviously been in your position, so he can give you a great answer as well. But there's a couple struggles that I personally went through that probably many of you on this call might be going through right now. And if that is you, I would recommend you reach out to Phil and potentially have that conversation, and he'll be able to guide you down that right path. But the first one here is you've got no time to source, reach out to suppliers, send emails, call them, and or run the business. This is because us as humans are busy. Raise your hand if you have a part-time or a full-time job. Okay, so almost all of the people that have a camera on, you have something during the day, whether it's 4 hours a day, 8 hours a day, and this doesn't even consider spouses, children, hobbies. Like most of you have dedicated time that cannot be spent on the business. And so that was a struggle that I had as well. Maybe you're stuck in the back end. Everyone wants to say how awesome it is to make money on Amazon, and I always spread the word as well. But what happens when you buy 1,000 units? And now you've got all these shipments you got to manage. You got all this inventory that's being sent across the US. You got to reprice it. Oh, you got to return. Like there's all these little things that at scale start to add up, and you can sometimes get stuck in the mess. I see Phil shaking his head there. He's been there before. I know, especially your size, Phil. I've been there as well. Don't worry. And then maybe your growth is capped by long hours. Maybe you're like, Carter, I'm already working every single available hour I have in my free time on the Amazon business. Unfortunately, I'm not the hour genie. I can't give you more time. We all get the same amount of time every single day. Trust me, I've been there. And then maybe this is your first time ever hearing about a virtual assistant. And then maybe you've thought about hiring a VA, but you're like, gosh, Carter, where do I find people? Are they going to be more skilled than me? How can I trust them? Don't worry, I'll break that down on this call here. That's why Phil has brought me on. But before I get into that, I want to explain this image on the left. And so I know in this video I've talked about how much money I've made, and I have a team of 6 virtual assistants, and it didn't start like that. This is 19-year-old Carter. So at this time, COVID-19 hit. So I had just moved out of my parents' house. I was going to a community college, and I lived with 3 roommates. All of a sudden, COVID-19 hit. So tough time for pretty much the entire world. All 3 of my roommates move out. I'm home alone in a city I've never been before. And also around that time, I tell my parents, hey, I'm going to drop out of college to pursue selling products on Amazon. You got to understand, this was 6 years ago. This was before people like Phil had come on and started sharing their journey. There just weren't too many people talking about it. And so let's just say the parents weren't too thrilled to hear that. Anyways, I was just in a tough spot. I was a one-man show. There was a lot of pressure on me, and I wasn't making the kind of money I knew I could make. And so that might be some of you on this call. You're like, I started the business. I reached out to some suppliers, and, I sent Phil a couple questions, but, I don't want to bombard him or whatever it might be. Like, maybe you're stuck. And this is what I call working smarter, Carter, on the right. And so as you can see, I'm much happier on the right side. I'm making much more money on the right side than I was on the left side. And then most importantly, if you look in the bottom left of that right side photo, I have virtual assistants. I have people, team members every single day that are waking up with the goal to help my business make more money. And in a little bit, we'll interview Phil and ask what his virtual assistant does for his wholesale operation so he can really dive into the weeds. But the one man and one woman show can be stressful. It doesn't always have to be that way. And so what is the key here? And I've got this chart. My virtual assistant actually created this. They created this whole presentation, just goes to show how versatile they can be. And if you have any questions on this, drop them in the chat. I'll obviously make sure I set some time aside here. We got 12 people in the building. I appreciate you all being here. So first things first, type part-time. I believe all of you are part-time. I'm not sure any of you, I think maybe one of you were full-time. Max, I think you're going to be soon. But if you're working part-time hours on your Amazon business, this is you in the red column right here. If you're working full-time, this is 8 hours a day, 5 hours a week, and be honest, you're that yellow blob right here. And then here is this massive green chart. So that is me. That represents I work roughly part-time, like I said, maybe 5 to 7 hours a week. But like I mentioned, I have 4 virtual assistants that work full time for me. That's 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 40 hours a week. You times that by 4. I just have more leverage than all of you because I can promise you, I am not the smartest one on this call. I'm actually probably one of the dumbest here. I didn't want to say that because Phil might not bring me back. But what I'm trying to say here is I just have more leverage. I have more human manual hours helping me grow and scale my Amazon business. And so if you're a part-time seller, I have 9 times more leverage than you. And if you're a full-time Amazon seller, solo operation, I have 4 times as much leverage than you. And so, no, it's not that I'm smarter. No, it's not that I'm putting more hours. I just have a little more help. And I'm hoping I can help you all in the next VA journey as well. So, there's really 2 different ways to hire a virtual assistant. Can everyone type yes or no if they have hired or worked with a virtual assistant before? Type yes or no in the chat. I'm very curious if any of you have worked with a VA before, haven't. Okay, Brian, no. Muhammad, yes. Alicia, no. Jocelyn, no. Okay, iPhone, yes. Franco, negative. Max, I have 2. Yes, that's glad to hear. Yes, working now, Brandon. We love working with you, man. Okay, cool. So sounds like maybe half and half. And so the first way to hire a VA is I call it the do it yourself. And so you're going to go to a website, maybe like onlinejobs.ph, and you're basically going to put out a job post. And so I'm sure like many of you that have a job, you probably ended up on one of these job boards trying to find a position. And so you're just going to do the exact opposite. And so you create a job post, what you're looking for, ideal salary, part-time hours, and then people are going to start reaching out. Hey, I want to learn more. How can I work for you? And so that's when I recommend having some kind of sample project, something that you can provide these people that are reaching out to just see their skill set, especially for your Amazon wholesale operation. You're probably wanting to find VAs that have wholesale experience. Maybe they've worked with third-party profits in the past. Maybe they've done wholesale outreach. Like that transition, hiring that VA, like things are just going to pick up much quicker. And so obviously after you send the sample project, you're going to get a lot of them back. I would say if you put out a good job post, don't be surprised if you have 75 to 100 plus Filipinos reaching out to you. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of grading. And then after you grade those sample projects, you're going to take your 6 to 8 best performers on that project, interview them, and then make that final selection. Now, I just broke that down in probably 60 seconds to 2 minutes. But if this is your first time ever doing a process like this, it's basically another part-time to full-time job. Because it takes a lot of time and energy, and you have to wait for responses. And if it's your first time, maybe you don't have a sample project created, like it just takes a lot of time. And this method can be great, but doing your first time, it can take some time to perfect. And I had done it quite a bit. And so what I want to mention here is there is a second way to do it, and that's called the VA Fastlane. I won't touch on this too long because I want to make sure we have enough time to hit questions here. But obviously, we are partnered with Phil's group, and so we provide discounts. And so what is the VA Fastlane? So basically, we're an Amazon-specific virtual assistant placement service, and there's a couple key things we do. And so, for example, Phil is a client of ours. And so Phil joined us, and I got to interview Phil. I got to learn about his business, what he needs help with, and what he might want that VA to help do for his business. After I collected that information, I lined up 4 pre-vetted, already skilled, already trained wholesale virtual assistants that he got to speak to. Obviously, after he made that selection, we helped him with the onboarding process, sharing his softwares, keep third-party profits, everything else that goes into the wholesale operation. He's got access to me in case anything ever goes or I have any questions for me. He reaches out to me, and then we handle the payroll there. Obviously, you have unlimited replacements, and so if that first virtual assistant we place does not work up to your expectations, you're not liking the output or the work effort, you shoot us a message. We'll replace them free of charge and in 7 days. And then we support all Amazon business models. Of course, I know wholesale is the primary focus of this group, but we do support the different models out there. And then we also offer part-time and full-time VAs. I know some of you maybe don't have enough work for 8 hours a day. Maybe it's only 4 hours a day. We have options to be able to serve that as well. And then here's just a few of the clients that we've been able to onboard. You can see there's beautiful Phil right there, hopping on, helping out a client. And there's a couple other, syndicate clients inside this call. And we served over 170 sellers. I wish I could get their faces on here, but you probably wouldn't be able to see too much. So pros of the VA Fastlane, we have no long-term contracts. We actually have 2-week minimums. So after 2 weeks, if you're not thrilled with your VA, you can go ahead and pay them and remove them from your team. So there's no stress there. We have free replacement. So if you ever want a second virtual assistant, a third, or you need a replacement, we'll get you one free of charge. And then if you're listening right now, we've got a huge bonus for you. So I would definitely keep your eyes peeled. So typically we charge $600 to onboard a new VA, but today it's 50% off. And I actually don't need $1 down. All I need is you to comment your email and your Discord name in the Zoom chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create a 3-way chat with me, you, and Phil, and we're just going to see if this is the right fit for each of you. And obviously, Phil knows each of you better than me, and he can kind of give his word as well. Also, Phil has the huge discount here, so I want to make sure he's aware of who's thinking about joining as well. So a couple final things here before we open up into our Q&A. I want to talk about my personal first virtual assistant. His name is Darwin. And I guess I already popped the images up there, but on one side, I know I've been talking a lot about how virtual assistants have made me a lot of money, have changed my life, Phil's life, a couple of you on this call that have VAs or worked with them before. But what you don't understand is the US dollar goes very far in the Philippines. Yeah, I see Phil agrees there. And so by working with just this one virtual assistant on my team, Darn, he's bought 2 houses in the Philippines. One that he lives in with his wife and his kid that's on the way. And then he also rents one out as a rental property. He bought a brand new car off the lot. That car is nicer than my car. And then he has his first child on the way. Really exciting stuff. I just wanted to showcase that as well. And then, yeah, that will wrap my presentation from here. One final reminder, if you just want to learn more about the VA Fastlane, if you have any questions, thinking about hiring a virtual assistant, I would love to speak with you. Just comment your email and then your Discord name in the Zoom chat. I'll take a screenshot and I'll make sure I reach out to you there. So with that being said, I'll unshare my screen and I've got the rest of this period of time to just answer any questions that you all have. So thank you. I see we got almost everyone's got their camera on. Brandon, good to see you. Dave, Brian, Max, Franco. Before we get into questions, I think it's probably great if we have the leader of this community talk a little bit more about VA. So Phil, if you don't mind me bringing you on, can you talk a little bit about your journey working with your VA? I know obviously we placed them for you, but what all does this VA do for your business?
So yeah, that's a great question. So I mean, pretty much damn near everything, right? And I don't mean that as like literally everything, but he sends out emails all day to get new suppliers. He sends me suppliers that he feels are really good that I might need to call, right? He lets me know when we get a new account. He puts all of the new sheets into third-party profits. By the way, and Carter did this for his community of virtual assistants, and it is extremely beneficial for us. He actually has all of them trained in third-party profits specifically. And I think you got with Paul, if I'm not wrong. And that was I just thought so highly of that because those who are brand new, like I said, guys, I don't want to be saying these things and make it seem as though you're going to be putting off things in your business. You have to know how it operates, but that's what you sit on the calls for. That's what you get the information that I'm showing you for. There is nothing wrong with getting some help to get you going in the beginning. Okay? Here's the important part. You have to understand what a investment is. Okay? Now, if I just told you guys about my girlfriend, right, in her store. I keep bringing this up because this is a brand new store, started probably after some of yours in this call. Okay. And I say that because one of the big things is, oh, your store's been open for a while. It's so much easier for you now. I hear that all the time. Okay. From some of the students in here. And honestly, it pisses me off because, like, that's you trying to create an excuse for yourself to not get something done. Okay. Now, in the 2 months or so that her store has been open, like I said, 60 accounts. Okay. My VA, once we have the accounts, product sheets in, let me get back to that. They put purchase orders together for me. Okay. I had a very bad week last week. You all are aware, and I appreciate you guys reaching out. But I was able to go and do things and be there for the family members that needed me most, and my business was working. And like that right there, like that was a moment that I will not, like, going through that and understanding that I can go and be there and I can be who I can do that and know that, like, this is going on because I have people that not only are working for me, but they care about your business. Because if you're a good boss, they care, right? And not only do they get the purchase orders put together, once the purchase order is put together, I go in there and approve it, and then they submit it to my supplier, right? And then it gets shipped into Amazon from there, as you guys know. Now I have Levon here who does all my shipments for me and everything like that. That's where you guys can bring in, and Carter does that method as well, a prep center, right? You guys who are one-on-one students, you can use me as a prep center. But regardless, and also restocking, third-party profits is I love that software so much, and it helps you restock like that, which is extremely beneficial. But your VA tracks all that. You know what I'm saying? Because and as Carter said in the beginning, I think, like, as we grow, tasks will start to get bigger and bigger, right? Like, I was in my store earlier, and like I was seeing some customer emails come through, and like I don't remember the last time I had to email a customer back. I don't remember the last time I had to, like, go and do. I have another VA who's in there checking my account health all the time. I know if something comes up. I get reports. Account health is this. Sales are at this. This happened, or this is going on. Your buy box percentage was this today. Like, all of the information you guys are going to want to know, like, I just get, you know what I mean? And like, again, I have to know how these processes work, which is what you guys are in this community to learn. But you guys are also in here because you're here to do things the most optimized way. And I have been doing this for 4 years now, not nearly as long as Carter. And I have made a lot of mistakes that have cost me a lot of money. Okay. A lot of money. And I have also taken routes that have cost me a lot of time. Okay. And Max, like, I can't tell you, like, I'm so proud of Max. He's an electrician about to quit his job at the end of the year, and also Max was having a problem. His store got shut down, right? During that period of time, Max had two VAs continually working because Max understands what an investment is, correct? So he had them continually working to gather more wholesale accounts, to get purchase orders put together. As soon as his store was open back up, he's on it. He's getting his funding sequence started with Brian. Like, you guys are watching this happen to someone that's not me, right? And you guys hear this all the time. And also, if you guys are a one-on-one student, I can get in a group chat with you and your VA and help you guys out. Like, there's a lot of things that can help you guys. So I would highly suggest everybody who does not have a VA to put your information in the chat and get with Carter, because I can promise you that is going to get you where you want it to go a lot quicker. Okay. And I was on a call with a student, I'm not going to say who, and they were trying to do a lot themselves, which there's nothing wrong with that. And I got a construction background, as you guys know. I am very much a nitty and gritty type of worker, a very much hands-on guy, okay? Very much so. And I was talking to this student, and instead of just trying to go this route, letting their VA just take this route, they were just kept hitting their head against the wall, doing all these other things. As soon as they dialed in on this strategy, sales are through the roof, finding more and more products every day. Like, and it's again, as new sellers too, like you guys who are starting brand new, you're gonna find how absolutely annoying and just emotionally draining is the best word I can think of to try to find products you're ungated in. Okay? Like, because you're gonna keep getting, oh, you can't sell this, you can't sell this, you can't sell this. On top of that, if you guys don't know this, most of the suppliers that we reach out to, you're probably not going to hear back from. You're not going to get the account, but it's the ones that we do get an account with that matter, right? Law of numbers here. But my point is those mundane tasks that need volume, right? You need to get access to hundreds of thousands of products to purchase as soon as possible. That means you need to get as many suppliers as you can. That means you need to be sending out 30 to 50 emails a day is what I recommend all you guys do. Are you going to sit there all day doing the same thing because that's going to take you all day to do, right? Or are you going to pay somebody pennies on the dollar for us? And I can tell you this right now, like, I love how Carter showed his VA with the house, and like I love, like, I'm getting ready to send Jan another bonus. Like, that's the VA I got from Carter because he just gave me a buy my ass PO today. You know what I mean? And like, I didn't do nothing, and it's like, they have these incentives to where like you guys can literally change someone's life for like an extra, not that much a month. And here's the thing, those incentives are so small. For every $10,000 in product you find me to buy, I'm going to send you $100. Like that, if you think about that, if you're spending $10,000 on product, let's say minimum, you're going to make 2,500 profit all said and done. Minimum, right? $100 out of that is nothing. But what does that do? Like, my VA will work weekends without me asking if he thinks he can find more products, right? Because $100, that's a lot. You know what I'm saying? A dollar, like he said, a dollar goes a long way. And you start building that trust with your VAs to where, now, and I told Carter this, I reached out to him a few weeks ago, like, hey, I'm going to need to bring someone else on, right? But I'm going to get Jan, who I have now, basically, like, he's going to be the manager of operations, right? And I'm going to bring on more VAs, and they're going to report to Jan. So I don't have as little points of contact to me as possible. But, like, doing it the right way, too, and understand, because I've had people that will get a VA, and after a month, oh, I'm not getting any money back. This isn't making sense. Don't even bother. If that's the type of mindset you're going into this with, please don't waste Carter's time. Don't. Okay? Because don't waste my time either. Because like you need to understand you're gonna put in a couple months at least before you really start seeing some return. But again, it's like, what is your time worth? That's what we have to really, really start valuing. And I say that because that was so hard when I started, right? Understanding what my time was worth. Like Dave in here, Dave did drywall with me. Okay. Dave saw me start this. He saw me every day at work listening to fucking shit in my head. He saw people doubting me, like all this shit, and he saw me build this. And now he's gonna do the same exact thing for him, and I can't wait for it. And he's gonna get business funding, and he's doing all these things. I know he's gonna get a vert VA with Carter, because I told him right after this call, you're gonna be getting one with him, and we're gonna get you scaling quick. And it's going through and because here's the thing too. Invest in efficiency. Exactly, Dave. Yes. And it can be nerve-wracking, right? It can make you anxious. Like, I've never done, especially if you've never done this before. I've never been a boss before. They're going to know more about this business than me. Good. Good. You want somebody that works for you that knows more about your business in certain aspects than you do. Arslan. Everybody in here knows Arslan. He's been with me for 3 years. Arslan knows so much more about Amazon than I do. Like, I continuously ask Arslan for help all the time. Arslan is on my payroll. Like a lot of you guys have gone to him, you're like, oh, he charges. I pay him bi-weekly the same amount, and he's like a lawyer on retainer. Okay. And now you guys don't also have to get into it and get a bunch of different VAs at once. You start slow, okay? But like I said at the beginning, understanding and getting into that mindset of I'm a boss now. My time needs to be spent in better areas of this business, okay? And you are not going, I love that chart that he pulled up. Like, you are not going to be able to get the results in your business if you're only working a couple hours a day, okay? You can get there. It's going to take you a long freaking time. You know what I mean? And I just promise you guys, because here's the beautiful thing about wholesale. Like, as we find products, we can repurchase them month over month. So like, it's going to scale your business to the moon as quickly as possible. And yeah, he just posted again in the chat. Like, look at that. Like, that amount of output every day in a business is insane. Like, that's unbelievable. And that's how you guys need to operate. Again, like at the beginning, are you going to have 4 VAs? No, just get one. But like, and again, like I said, if you guys are one-on-one students, I train your VAs with you. If you're not a one-on-one student, you have a literal library of training calls that we've done that you can source through and copy and paste and send them to your VA. Like, send them my training calls that we do if you're not a one-on-one, and train them that way. Like, people do that all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can copy and paste the link in those recorded calls. Like, I'm not holding all that shit. You know what I mean? Send it to whoever. Send it to your mama. But like, it's this system is what, like the 5-phase system I teach you guys. Number 5 is delegation and funding. But like I always say, you if you want to implement that right away, I would recommend it. The funding and the delegation. Because also, Amazon does not put a fucking cap on how much money you can make. I can promise you that. And I can't wait in a couple months to show you what this store is doing that my girls got going, because it's going to be fucking, like, I'm super excited for that. And like, again, I talk about that because that is a same exact situation as all of you are in. We are using 0 of her personal dollars. 0. Okay? And I'm about to run this shit up, okay? And like, you guys can all do the same thing, okay? You got Carter to help you with the delegation. I'm going to help you train him. You got Brian to help you get the business funding. Anything goes wrong, you got Arslan in your corner to create a case for you. Like, this is literally a one-stop shop for you to make $1 million fucking dollars. I don't know how else to say that. So if you haven't put your info in the Discord, in the chat, do it and get on a call with Carter. And I'm saying that as your guys' mentor. Like, you guys pay me to tell you the best way to run an Amazon business, and like, this is the best way to do it. And again, this isn't like, oh, we're just going to throw you some random person for you to randomly put into your business. No, you guys know what to do. First of all, they're all trained in what you need them to do. Second of all, everybody's main task right now is only to get wholesale accounts. Don't worry about what products you're going to sell. Don't worry about how you're going to get, don't worry about nothing else other than getting wholesale accounts. They can do that for months without doing anything else. And you are going to be in so much of a better position than people who have been selling on Amazon for years. And I can promise you that. So like, this is a long-term play that each and every one of you need to make for the future of your business. And that's all I've got. But like, literally A to Z, my business is basically taken care of because of VAs. I just oversee it, right? And I think Carter, his hour a day is probably just overseeing what has happened inside of the business that day, right? Am I right?
Exactly. I got a WhatsApp group chat where I get, an end of day summary. I have 4 team members, what each of them did, and then obviously they get on a weekly call that I'm not even a part of. They do it during the regular Philippine hours. Hey, Carter, here's what we discussed, challenges, things we're trying to overcome. And Phil, that speech got me hyped, man. I feel like I want to hire a fifth virtual assistant yesterday, man. You got me hyped up. But so I appreciate all those kind words as well. We love serving you. We love serving the members of your community. And my goal for this call is to just make it as valuable as possible. So I did want to hold the last 5-10 minutes or however long we need to make sure I can get any questions answered. I did see Zishan, Jocelyn, Brian, and Dave. I saw you all sent your information in the Zoom chat, so I took a screenshot. So I'll be reaching out, creating those three-way chats. Thanks for dropping that there. Um, Raise your hand if you have a question, or you can send it in the Zoom chat, and we'll get rocking with those questions from there. Looks like Muhammad has beat us to it. How many total VAs do you have not working for you, but in your VA Fastlane company? Great question, Muhammad. So right now I have two full-time virtual assistants that help me run the VA Fastlane. That's everything from the actual recruitment of the VAs, verifying talent, verifying, hey, you said wholesale. Okay, what do you know about third-party profits? What is your strategy? What is your template for reaching out to suppliers? And so I have two plus myself that help run that VA Fastlane side of things, Muhammad. We've got Franco. How do you know what wage to give your VA? So Franco, we actually have a pricing sheet. Now it is dependent on, the kind of the skill level of VA you're looking for. Obviously, we have some cheaper hourly wage VAs that are going to be your more standard, like kind of foundation. They know what they're doing. They're not an expert, all the way up to what we call our specialists. That's what we placed Phil and the largest majority of our clients. And a specialist is basically a specialist in their field. And so a lot of you are in the wholesale space. And so you come to me, you get a specialist. It's going to be someone that has worked with an Amazon wholesale seller before, maybe has done supplier outreach, has, formulated POs for review. That kind of information is what you can expect from a specialist there. But Franco, that's going to run you anywhere from, $5 on the low end to maybe upwards of 6 to 6.5 if you're looking for like part-time work as well, just kind of in that range. We've got Zishan. How much experience do these individuals have that you go after to join the network? Great question. So obviously we put out job posts, trying to attract talent, but we're pretty much the largest VA placement company specifically for Amazon. And so we're partnered with many of the Filipino Phils, to put it in summary, basically coaches that are Philippine locals teaching other VAs, how to become an Amazon VA. And so we get hundreds and hundreds of people that want to join us to even have a chance to speak. And so I don't know, I can't come up with a number there, but in terms of experience, like I said, we kind of have three skill levels. You have like your basic foundation, know what they're doing. You've got like what we call our pro, which is in the middle, and then our specialist, which is pretty much the best of the best. The specialist has the most experience, the most time working with past clients, understands how to use third-party profits the best. And that's kind of a couple different factors in terms of how we base that experience there, Zishan. All great questions, everyone. I love answering these. Do we have any more? You can raise your hand on the Zoom. I'll see you. You can drop it in the Zoom chat. Brandon, good to see you, man. Come on.
So I want to say real quick, for those who are going to get on a call with Carter, don't be cheap either. Okay. And like, I'm saying that because a specialist VA is what you're going to need. Like, you need the best in your business. Don't try to cheap out for a couple $100 a month. Again, understand the long-term return. Okay. Having someone who's been, I think Jan, who I got from you, is 6 years or something experience. Longer than I've been doing Amazon. Right. So again, it's, but again, it's like you have to get, as your mentor, get the specialist. Okay. I'm just going to like straight up say it. Please do your business a favor and invest in it. You guys invested in yourself to learn how to do it. Now, please, please, please just do it how I suggest. Okay. Because at the end of the day too, we can all figure out how to make a few extra $100 a month to offset that, for the 2 months that you might have to sit before your return hits, right? So just understand the importance of it. That's all I wanted to say. I just don't want people getting on there being like, oh, I want to start out with this and then upgrade to a this. Don't do that shit. You want an employee that's going to be with you long term too. Okay? And like VAs work US hours. So like that's something you may have to work out with your VA personally, right? I always say if you can have a VA that is open to maybe partial US hours, because we have to understand that full US hours is literally overnight shift. So you can say to them, uh, would you be open to working either a few more hours in the morning or in the at the end of day? Because if that's possible, that's always best because they can communicate with the suppliers during those few hours of business, and all that. So it doesn't need to be full US hours. And again, it's like, you let the VAs know what incentives you're going to be offering to whenever you hire them. And because if they know that they're going to be able to be getting consistent bonuses based on performance, they're probably going to be like, okay, I can work a couple out, I can do that. You know what I mean? So, but also respect, okay, needs to be a very big thing. We need to respect these VAs and understand they're there to help us. So, but yeah, I just wanted to
100%, Phil.
go ahead.
Yeah, looks
Yeah.
like you already answered two of my questions from the chat. Thanks for making things easy for me. I said we got a couple questions in here. Zishan, I see you asked, do your VAs work US hours? So Phil made a great explanation there. Like for example, I think when it's about 9 p.m. Florida time, it's like 10 a.m. Philippines time. So pretty much a flip flop. And what I've seen work best is kind of like the hybrid model that Phil says, like having somebody work in the middle of the night, like there's not going to be a super long longevity play. But if you can say, hey, like, do you want to work a couple hours early morning Philippines time or late evening Philippines time, which obviously, catch either the first part of the workday in the US or the end. That's especially good for reach night. You don't want your VA, doing outreach in middle of the night US time. So that hopefully answers your question there, Zishan. Brandon, actually, you are a part of the VA Fast Lane, so I might bring you on for just a quick second here. But I know you mentioned how much did you start Amazon FBA with, and how much were you making a month when you hired a VA? So when I started Amazon, I did have some funds from just previous side hustles built up. I don't know the exact amount, but I was selling used books, and so a little bit different from wholesale there. Now I did eventually build my way up, and once I was making a few $1,000s a month, it just made sense for me to bring on help because I had the cash. Like I basically had money and I just didn't have the hours to be able to put into the business. And so bringing on somebody for $5 an hour, even if it's just part time, just helps scale the operation much further there. But Brandon, would you throw a thumbs up if you want to come and talk about your VA journey for like 2 or 3 minutes here? Okay, cool. You're on, man.
Yeah, yeah, I hired my VA probably about a week and a half ago. My VA has about 6 years of experience. I got the specialist VA, and he's been pretty good. He reaches out to about 20 to 22 suppliers a day. I got him working part time, and yeah, I like it a lot, man.
20 to 22 suppliers a day, and this is a part-time team member as well. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
that's correct.
Okay. And how
And
many do you think you were reaching out to a day with the time you had available, I guess, before you hired a VA?
well, I had just started like a month ago.
Okay.
So I haven't had a chance to reach out to any suppliers. So he's been doing the hard work for me.
There we go. Doing the hard work for me. I love it. Just being honest. I got a little screenshot here of Brandon with his VA. What's your VA's name, Brandon?
Mark.
Mark, man. There we go. Okay, then my team member, that's Darwin. So if you want to know who's bought the houses, that was Darwin at the top right, doing the onboarding call after Brandon made those selections. But Brandon, appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for being a part of the VA Fast Lane. And did you have any other questions for me? Are you good to go?
I'm good.
Cool, man. Perfect. Sounds good. Let's see here. I think we got one or two more. We've got Muhammad. Does one VA assigned to me can possibly be working for another client, or is it one-to-one VA if they get you a full-time? Great question, Mohammed. So if it is a full-time VA that you're requesting and wanting to work with, they'll be working exclusively for you. Now, if you hire a part-time virtual assistant from us, we may partner them with one other part-time Amazon seller. That way they can earn a full-time income. So at max, they're working for one other client if you're working with them part-time. Franco asked, how do you know you need to update to a second or third virtual assistant? So I think it's a couple of things here. Like Phil says, just start with one. And so even if you've got more money than you know what to do with, I recommend just starting with one and just having them become a clone of you, having them become someone that you like, know, and trust, and so that you can bring on a second VA, and then I call it the stoplight. You've got Carter up top, you've got Phil up top, then you've got your first VA that you've already been working with, you already like, know, and trust, and then you've got that third, then your second VA, newest VAs at the bottom, and so it's kind of like a stoplight. And so instead of them blowing up Carter or Phil, the main business owner, they're getting in touch with that VA who's working the same local hours. And then if that VA for some reason can't figure out the issue, then they'll present it to you, the business owner, which is a small percentage of there. And then, of course, a second VA is a second salary, at $5 an hour. Whether you're working part-time or full-time, you obviously want to make sure you do have some, finances or funding coming in soon or something in place to where that you can support a second virtual assistant there. And if you ever have one VA with us and you're thinking about hiring a second or third, let me know. I'm happy to speak with you and then see if that is the next best step there. But all great questions there, Franco. Any more? Raise your hand, drop it in the Zoom chat. I'll make sure I can get. Yeah, Phil?
Muhammad, did you put your information in there? Because like you're a one-on-one client as well. And I know what we're doing with your store, so you need to get with Carter and get a full-time. If you didn't put your info in there, put it in there and get with Carter. Yeah, you're gonna need a full-time specialist, and that's gonna really help. Again, just catapult things like crazy. So
Yeah. Thanks for the reminder, Phil. I just forgot. If you are watching this and you want to learn more about the VA Fastlane, just comment literally your email and your Discord username down below, just so that I know that I can reach out to you. So Mohammed, if you are wanting to learn more, drop it down there. Happy to. I think there's a couple of you that did above as well. So either way, just wanted to lead with value in this call. I'm going to try to be more involved inside of the chat channels. A lot of it's wholesale related. I'm the VA guy, so when those VA questions come up, just tag me at Carter. I'm happy to get those answered here. Mohammed said, "Oh, I know for sure. I need one. We'll discuss with you tomorrow." Perfect. Okay. Any final questions, everyone? Whether that is raising your hand, drop it in the Zoom chat. I don't want to keep everyone a minute longer than I need to. Just want to make sure I get that all answered. Okay, I think everything is answered. Brandon, I think I just saw you flash your hand up.
Yeah, I was going to say I also learned from my VA too. So
Okay.
that's a big thing. He's been helping me out. He's been doing a lot of work. And he's teaching me things. So since I'm so new.
Yeah, 6 years. That's a veteran right there. 6 years in the game. I'm glad he got that lined up with you, Brandon.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Perfect. Well, Phil, I guess I'll pass it on over to you to close out today's call. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man, Carter, I appreciate you. We're gonna be doing a Q&A. If you want to stick around, you can. But if you just want to go ahead and enjoy your
Yeah,
night.
yeah. I'll pop in
But
for sure.
so yeah, man, really appreciate you jumping on. And like, guys, again, we're trying to bring you value. We're not trying to sit here and just sell you a service, right? Because I hope you guys all know that I truly want you guys to all succeed. And in order for me to do that, I have to make sure the people that I bring around you guys want the same thing. So, Carter's been absolutely amazing for those that are working with him. And another thing that I don't even think he mentioned, he does like trainings for all the VAs. They all meet and they all go over stuff and they all have a Slack channel where like they all communicate. So, it's like your VA is continuously learning too, and there's just so much value here. Okay. And again, if you have an issue with it, you're going to be Franco just dropped his information in there.
Cool.
And so Muhammad, I know we got our one-on-one call tomorrow, so we'll talk about that for sure, and get you going. So, but yeah, does anybody have any questions? I've been away for a little bit, so I haven't been here to answer much. If you guys have anything for me, we do have our beginners call tomorrow. We're adding 2 more calls. Okay. Max is going to be starting to run some calls. Um, he was thankfully able to give you guys a call last week on my behalf. And we were discussing having him make that a regular thing. I appreciate that, Mohammed. And so he's going to be running calls Wednesday night at 7 p.m. and Thursday night at 7 p.m. I believe is what we agree on. Those are central times. Again, these calls are going to be recorded and dropped into the Discord. And I just want to give you guys as much as possible. Okay, I don't want you guys to have an excuse for not being able to succeed. So just wanted to give you guys an update on that as well. Also, the Thursday calls may be moved to a different time. There's something that's going on Thursdays at 12 that I really have been trying to get to, and I don't want to cancel the calls. But it's something that I kind of need to go to for my business. So I think I'm going to be moving Thursday's call. I don't want to cancel it again. Might be moving it to like 11 a.m. or something like that. I will let you guys know on that. I'll head on out, y'all, and let you on to the wholesale talk. Nice to meet you again, and thanks for having me on, Phil. Again, appreciate you, Carter. And Carter, you have, I think you've said before, if people need references for prep centers, they can reach out to you,
Yep.
and get some. Yeah, because I've never used a prep center. I can help you find some, but Carter has done millions on Amazon, and he runs everything out of prep center. So if you guys have some questions, ask him on that. But yeah, man, Carter, I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you.
I'll be talking with you soon, bro. You talking with you
Yes,
soon.
sir. We'll be having you on the YouTube channel soon. So,
Yes, sir.
all right,
Yes, sir.
y'all.
Oh, I
Have a
need to
good one.
reschedule that. I need to reschedule that.
Yes,
You
we'll get it
sent me the
done. You're a
link
busy
in
man.
Discord, right? You sent me
Yes,
that in
sir.
Discord. Okay. I'll get
Got
that.
you.
I'll get that rescheduled tonight. Cool.
Okay, Phil. Sounds great. See y'all later. Have a good one, everyone. Peace. Bye.
All right. Talk to you later, brother. So I need to find that and reschedule that real quick. Anybody have any questions for me? How's everybody doing? Where are we at with our stores? Where are we at with our journey? I know a lot of us are new. Where are we at with everything? Um, Drop it in the chat. Go ahead and ask. I noticed there's a lot more cameras on when there's people besides me talking. I took that a little bit of an offense. Just gonna be honest with y'all. I'm just fucking with you guys. Where the hell is that message? But yeah, I mean, where's everybody at? Otherwise, we can just continue tomorrow. But if you guys are, if you guys are new and going through the task of just getting stuff together, just understand that like what we are all moving to achieve is great, and it's gonna take some like grudging through, right? It's gonna and not even, but like that's why I have Carter here, so it's not necessarily grudging through, because if you're able to get a VA, like that can seriously catapult things for you. If I'm being honest with you, like you know, if you guys had a VA, you could really kind of lay back and just spend every day on a call, and pick up the information. And in 2 months of doing that, like, I'm not saying be lazy by any means, but like, I'm saying for your own sanity, because I understand how overwhelming things can get, right? And it's important to make sure you take time to learn the intricacies of the business and how things operate. So if you can sit back and that is, we got 6 calls a week times, let's say 8 weeks. I don't know. I can't, what is that? I feel like an idiot right now. 48. So that's 48 calls. That's 48 hours of gathering information. So in 2 months, let's just say, right, you let them get in and just gather you accounts. You get some business funding set up. All of a sudden, you have all these products to look at, and you've had 48 hours of live training, not to mention whatever extra time you're taking on your own to learn, and now you're implementing everything you've just learned into all these products that you have access to that you can buy month over month. Just like I want you guys to really understand, because a little bit of time stacked over a little bit of period like that compounds, right? And it's a way for you to go through it and retain the information. And for those of you that are one-on-one students, like we go through and set goals every single week. You know, we do all these things to ensure that happens, right? We got some things in the chat. Trying to get a gym session while learning. I'll be on camera tomorrow. Hitting the gym. Love it. Love it. That's one thing, you know, I always suggest like doing something physical and just getting some exercise in and taking care of yourself, because I tell you what, like when I'm going through a difficult time, that really helps me. Like, and I don't know what it is about it, but just saying that. So still trying to get funds to get phase 1 going from there, get the website created. All right, cool. Could you have used a VA this past week? Been sick and barely got my voice back. If I had a VA, could have had 30 plus suppliers. Time was wasted. Time was wasted. I hope you're feeling better. And we're gonna get it going. Again, if you can, Alicia, you're gonna be getting your one-on-one, so you're gonna be getting funding soon. And so like it's not gonna be long before you're gonna have this. So preparing for that bit of time, and like I was just a different student that I was on a call with today. We were talking, and they've been having a problem getting past, like, I can't find stuff, right? I can't get ungated in anything, right? And I see it all the time, and it happened to me too. But having the VA just go through your stuff and just find the products for you based on your criteria, like now that we've literally just sat back and let this new store just cook with the VA, and it didn't need to be 2 months. You know what I'm saying? Like we got almost 60 accounts, right? So it was just like we've just been letting it cook, because I understand how much that can compound for long term, right? Like we could have started sourcing like a month ago probably. But, and having just being able to go look in third party profits and see products that someone already found for you to buy, right? And you learning different things, and you learning new sourcing strategies, like learning how to storefront stock correctly. Like, and if you're new, you don't even need to know what storefront stocking is. Okay, don't worry about it. But Dave's like, no, don't worry about it, right? We'll get into that whenever you guys are to that point. But once you learn these new things, then because here's another thing, a lot of your VAs are going to know what storefront stocking is. And like, so this is where the benefit of like having people in your business that know more than you. But I've got open wholesale accounts and contacted brands. Yes. Tersa's been doing absolutely amazing. She's a one-on-one too, and we're about to do some crazy stuff in her store. I'm just so happy for a lot of you guys too. Like another student I was talking to today, they're hitting consistent like few $100s a day right now. Starting to grow on that. And like that's the beautiful thing about wholesale. Like Carter does arbitrage. There's nothing wrong with arbitrage at all. You can make a bunch of money. Obviously, he does. But with wholesale, it's I like it better because it's stuff that like once we buy it, we know we can buy it again. So like scaling in my own opinion is much easier on wholesale once you have everything put in place and moving correctly, right? And then with the softwares that we use, like third-party profits, you can just go to your restocking page and it tells you you need to buy this, and then you just select all your products, click generate purchase order, and it creates the file for you to send to your supplier or to send to your VA to upload to your supplier. You know what I mean? And so I don't want to oversimplify things, but I feel like understanding that at the end of the day it is that simple is important, because it's just learning those small steps along the way. But TPP is awesome. Yes, it is. And if you don't have third-party profits, I say this all the time, get it. Okay, get it. Go into the school, into the the third party profits module and use that link, and you'll get a 30-day free trial. Okay. But anybody else have any other questions? Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and cut it. And Brandon, do you have a question?
Yeah, I'm trying to get like a phone for my VA. Would you say you use Google Voice or Text Now? Did you know about Text Now?
So is text now only gonna be like a texting number?
I think it's like a phone. It's something that my VA recommended, but he was saying he think Google Voice is better. But I just want to see what you thought.
Honestly, probably like any one of them would work. Um, it doesn't really matter as long as it's a phone that works. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now, here's the thing. What I would do is, so iPostal One, like when you get your virtual phone number or business phone number, you can route it to where like when it calls that number, it gets routed to another number, right? So when suppliers call my business number, it actually rings on my phone.
Okay.
So you would get your business number and then put in whatever number you get for your VA to have it routed to that. Does
Okay.
that
Is
make
that the best package? Is that the best package or with our postal one?
iPostal One?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember how much mine is a month, honestly. But I have the address and phone number. Um,
Okay.
Here's the thing. There might be another place better than iPostal One. I don't know. That's just what I used. Okay. So I never did much research or anything like that. It's just what I used and it works. So there might be something with like a more, I don't know, affordable or better package, but that's just what I use.
All right. I got you.
Okay. So all right, guys. I appreciate y'all. Again, I'll be back, so post in the Discord if you got any questions for me. And I will see everybody on the call tomorrow that can make it. And I appreciate you guys for showing up tonight. And for those that dropped your information for Carter, um, I'm glad you guys are making that decision for your business, because I can promise you it's going to make you a lot of money and save you a lot of stress. Okay, because you're going to be able to go through this knowing that once you start picking it up, all the heavy lifting and essentially is like done, and it's just sitting there waiting for you. And again, it's like I'm not trying to say we're pushing anything off, because it's not going to take you long to understand how to know what a good brand is, how to Google that, how to find suppliers that way. That's not going to take you longer than an hour to understand how that process works. So there's no point in you spending endless hours doing that when you can understand what it is in an hour, and then learn everything else and pay somebody that to get it done. Okay. So appreciate you guys very, 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 very much. And I will see you guys all on the call tomorrow.
If you made it this far, thank you. And if you have any virtual assistant needs, if you're looking to hire for your Amazon business, I'll have a link below in the description of this video where you can speak with me on a free one-on-one strategy call where I would like to learn more about your Amazon wholesale business. And if a VA is the next best step, I can help you with that path. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. If you want more content just like this, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.